Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know the Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature, it is untouched by man? It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural or sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you that use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. All of the issues of life can be addressed. All things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. So we know that God will give you daily divine direction if we just listen to hear from him. And so we're here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers, we are Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live, we are RadioFreeNetwork.com Live. If you go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on radio, the drop box will appear. Click on the New Life link. Every broadcast is available to you. And we are on Facebook at Daily Divine Direction. We want you to tune in every day. Be with us Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And stay connected with us throughout the week. We are broadcasting live on our internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio, where you can reach us at WKAPfaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to be the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. And I just want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, there will be, from time to time, there will be moments when the station goes off the air and is interrupted by the internet, but our radio station plays 24 hours a day. That only will happen, I think, since we've launched the radio station, it's only happened to us twice, perhaps. But when those things occur, and I'm not talking about resets for the station itself, those are done very quickly, but I'm talking about if it goes off the air due to the internet for any period of time, just know that you just need to go back and put in WKAPfaith.com, because it will be back up. We play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at Faith Empowerment Radio, WKAPfaith.com. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are 49, you are age 49. You said your dating at your age has been difficult, and you have 3 children who all want you to date, although the men who ask you out, your children do not approve of. And you want to know, how do you get them to accept men who are asking you out? Because it's difficult dating at 49 with 3 kids, with 3 children. That's what you said. But let me say something to you. I was reading through your communication, and the things you shared about your children. You have very nice children. You have, you've done a great job. You're divorced. You've done a great job. raising your children. And I know based on your communication, it's because you love the Lord. You're not just playing church. You're not just in religion. You're in a relationship with the Lord. And you've taught your children that premise. Now they are young adults. Young adults. And you got 3 of them spread from age 21 to age 28. So here's the thing. You've got these really nice children who are just that. They're young adults. You know, between college and 30 is they're young adults. Once they turn 30, they're adults. Let's just keep it real. You understand that you've raised them well. They're well-rounded young adults. Now, what you have on your hands is you have children who are very close to you also. They're close to you, and they want to spend time with you. They want you to date, and they want to get to know the person you're dating. They want them to become part of the family environment. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, men sometimes have their own agenda, but there's nothing wrong. See, it's a blessing when you have 3 children who want to embrace and include someone else. You know, a bonus parent. Now, you did indicate in your communication that, you know, your ex-husband is semi-active in their lives. He was active when he was younger. To God be the glory. He was active when they were younger. He has since remarried. He has another family now. You know, he has more children. So now he's got 5 children. And unfortunately, because now your children are young adults, he's decided that since they're no longer dependents, he can now focus on his new family, and he sees them from time to time. Usually, you know the drill, because you communicated this. Birthdays, holidays, he'll touch base, but that's about the extent of it. But here's the good news. They're willing for you to have someone else who would then become part of the family environment. You say the men that are asking you out they don't approve of, which means the wrong kind of men are asking you out. See, if your children are if they were all over the place, then it might not be the men. It might be that your children don't want to add someone else to the equation. That's not the case for your children. They want to add someone else to the equation. They want to, have that experience of you dating someone else. They know that you're going to have a companion as they go off in their lives, but they don't want to get so far away. And that's a blessing in itself, that your children don't want to get so far away from you and the new relationship that they can't spend time with you. So, and here you have it. Your children also live in your geographical region, so it's easy for them to spend as much time with you as they desire to spend with you. And you're blessed because they want to spend time with you. That's who they are. And they go to church with you on Sundays. They eat with you on Sundays. They're your close-knit family, and that's a beautiful thing. So now let me say this to you. They want the right man for their mother. And let me tell you what the right man looks like. So let's be clear on something. You love the Lord. You have a relationship with the Lord. They want you to have a man who has a relationship with the Lord. Doesn't necessarily it'd be great if it was someone in your church. It doesn't have to be someone in your church. It doesn't have to be someone, they're not even asking you to make it someone that they've known forever or that they've known for a period of time. They're asking you to just not date men who are just looking for a good time, just looking for a dinner date, just looking for someone to hang out with. They want you to have a responsible man who is going to want them to be a part of his life also. And That's a special kind of man, because that's a real man who says, listen, we can blend this together and we can have a great life. So here's the reality of that. Let me tell you what that looks like. First of all, it looks like a gentleman. See, if these guys want you to go out to dinner and split the check with you, they're not real men. Let me say this. So I know in the younger generation, and I know I sound old, I'm getting older, so it's real. I've got adult children also, but mine are not young adults anymore. They're adults. And it doesn't matter whether it's someone your age, 50, or someone who's my age that's significantly older than you, but the reality is that they want you to date someone who is not going to be looking for someone to split the check with. That's not a real gentleman. See, and this is one of the things I encourage men. If you can't afford to take a woman out on a date, don't date. Save your money. Save your money and start out taking someone out on a date. Now, it doesn't mean that your significant other or your spouse can't take as a woman, this is for you guys, doesn't mean that she can't take you out on your birthday for a dinner. Doesn't mean that she can't take you out on your anniversary, but that's really your job. But, well, I got to retract that one, because I wouldn't even be comfortable with that. Not because of any particular reason, but just because an anniversary celebration is for the two of you, so that should really, but I'm talking about if you're dating someone and it's your anniversary of your first year of dating. I need to retract that, because it's not her job to take you out for that. Your birthday, how about that one? Let's stop right there. I'm just going to keep it real. If a man wants to split the check with you, he doesn't deserve to date you a second time. And here's the reality. If a man really is trying to form a relationship with you, and your three adult children young adult children who are willing to include someone else, it would be great when you're ready to introduce him to your children. He should be willing to take all 5 of you out to dinner. I'm just keeping it real. See, the problem is that it's not like you're out trying to trick them. It's not like you're taking out 5 of your girlfriends. Now, look, men, we've got to be men. So, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If this doesn't happen because everybody schedules their time in my life. But if my wife were out to dinner with her girlfriends, and if she didn't tell me where she was going for dinner, for safety reasons, if she didn't tell me that, and I went out with one of my friends to dinner, business associates for dinner, and I ran into my wife someplace, I would pick up the check for her and her friends. I mean, that's a little bit of a stretch, because, generally she's going to say, I'm going to dinner with my friends here. That's for safety reasons. That's all good. But if you are dating a guy and you decide that you want him to take you and your girlfriends out to dinner, 3 of you, 3 of you or 4 of you, he's not going to want to go. So he may say to you, look, I'll go another time. But if you're trying to get him to take you and your girlfriends out just to eat, then you're really just tricking him, So I'm just keeping it real. But when it comes to your significant other or children that are involved, he should be willing to take everybody out, because that's what a gentleman does. A gentleman has no problem picking up the check for everybody. Now it's a little different, like I said, if it's your birthday, that's something, and she wants to do something nice for you, that's fine. But that's one time a year. You get one day a year as a man not to have to pick up a check. That's your birthday. Because contrary to popular belief and contrary to what society is teaching us, we all have a role to play. We all have a responsibility. And for you, you have 3 wonderful children. Any man should be honored to take all of you out to dinner. If he's not willing to do that, he's not for you. We've got to make sure that we hold everybody accountable for their role. The reason your children do not approve of the men that have been asking you out is because they're the wrong men for you. It's not because they're trying to control your life. It's not because they're trying to change roles and be the parent. They're just concerned about you having the right man. So start out with this. Any man, your children, they go to church with you every Sunday. And then they come home with you for dinner. Even though only the 21-year-old still lives at home. So, if a man is interested in dating you because your children are in church with you, he should say to you, I'd like to take you out to lunch. I'd like to come to church with you. I'd like to take you out to lunch. And I would like to send your children to lunch. Because initially, he needs to get to know you to make sure you're compatible. So you can have conversations about your 7-year plan. And there's variables to that also. Because your children are right in church with you every Sunday. He should take you all out to lunch. That's just real simple. Because after lunch, he can always call you and talk about the 7-year plan. But he could get to know your children. Because they're in church with you. Now, if they say, no, that's okay, the 2 of you go out to lunch, then he should be willing to send them, look, you can all go to the same restaurant, they can sit at their own table, he can pick up both checks. I'm just telling you what a real gentleman does. There's ways, there's variables, yes, but all these things work together for the good. And any man, watch this, who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So, we must be men. In business and in life, we must be men. And if we can't do that, then we're not ready. That's all. It's that simple. Now, the 2 of you can work together to build a great life and include your children, even though, you're starting out on this journey together. But if you're eventually going to get married, he's going to become their bonus parent, their bonus dad. He should be willing to do that. Because that's what real men do. So don't make it difficult. Make sure that whoever wants to date you, they're willing to go to church or take you to church and out to lunch. And your 3 young adult children. Because I have to tell you, your communication about your children, they sound like very wonderful people. They really do. You've done a great job. And I'm not going to take away from the father because he was, as you said, active when they were minors, when they were dependents. Now he's kind of, gone his own path. Spends time with them when he's going to spend time because now he has 2 more children. He's got 5. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't look like what you would like it to look like. But he's going to have his own relationship with his young adult children. You should just continue to encourage him and them to have their relationship. Work it out for themselves. You got to work out your salvation, right? Work it out for yourself. And just make sure that the man that you date is the right man. Because that's the only problem your children have. They're excited about you dating. The only problem they have is they want you to date the right man. They want the right man for their mother, and that's a blessing. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. The T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are having difficulty getting your significant other on the same page with where you want to go, where you want the relationship to go. You want to know, how do you get him there? Okay, so let me say this to you. It's not your job to get him on the same page with where you want to go in the relationship. See, this is one of the problems we have in society, is that we have turned this whole thing around. So we've turned it around to make women believe that they should guide the relationship. That's not according to the Word of God. It's the man's responsibility to lead. It's the woman's responsibility to follow. And it's the woman and the man's responsibility to walk together in agreement. If you're not walking together in agreement, how are you really significant others? It's not your job to get them on the same page. You're trying to do his job. His job is to turn the page. His job is to continue turning the pages and transition from chapter to chapter. And let me tell you what that really means. It's his job to have a vision for the relationship. People get into relationships all the time without a vision. And that's not just a vision for life. You have to have one of those, but it's a vision for the relationship. Where do you want the relationship to go? And part of that comes with the, take me to church or go to church with me, and then let's go out to lunch. Let's talk about where you want the relationship to go over the next 7 years. That's the first step is, where do you want to go? Where do you want the relationship to go the next 7 years? What does that look like? What's the time period for each step that you take in the relationship? Are we going to be able to walk together in agreement to get there? I want to say this to all of our listeners and viewers. We got to stop doing what society has taught us to do, because society has taught us the wrong things to do. Now, I'm not talking about social skills. We all have to have character. We have to have dignity. We have to have integrity. The social skills are the norm that society has set that allows us to be able to, develop our interpersonal skills. It allows us to be able to develop our professional environment, our conduct in the professional environment. Society has done a good job with that. The problem is, because society has done a good job with that, we then think that whatever they disseminate for us and we consume, that's how we should live our lives in our personal relationships. This is what society, and I say this, the enemy has done this. And what I mean by that is, the devil has used society as a method of teaching us how to destroy the family fiber, how to disrupt the course of relationships. It has taught us to ignore the Word of God by saying it's okay to do things the way we want to do them, as long as we're not hurting anyone else. That's not correct. That's off base. And let me tell you what that looks like. In the game of baseball, go Phillies. In the game of baseball, you get on base you get off base to give yourself an advantage to steal to the next base. We've gotten off base, and then we get trapped in between bases, and we eventually get thrown out. And what that means is the relationship doesn't work out because everybody's out of order. No, there's no order in the relationship. We think that it's supposed to be one way when God has been very clear about what we should be doing to have healthy relationships, what we should be doing to further our society, what we should be doing to build a legacy for God so that our lives resemble the creation that God has provided us for us all to dwell within. You know, when you look outside and you say, well, sometimes it doesn't look as good as I would like it to look, but the reality is if you look outside at all times, you can find some beauty in nature. We should be able to find beauty in our relationship if we are staying within the order of God. You know, relationships, so, you know, I often talk about this. Not being stuck on religion, but entering into relationship with Christ. When you develop that relationship, every other relationship in our lives is in order because God is a God of order. So when you're in relationship with Christ, you understand that everything has to be decent and in order. So, you know, do we make mistakes? Of course we do. Do we make errors along the way? Of course we do. We all sin and fall short of the glory of God, meaning we all make mistakes. Can I just break it down? We all are going to make mistakes. Can we correct the mistakes? In other words, moving forward. Because you can't unring the bell. You can't go back and undo what's already done, but you can do better when you move forward. So that's what we have to focus on, the forward. So you have to decide today that you're no longer going to try and get him on the right page in the relationship, in where you want the relationship to go. You both should want the relationship to go someplace. It shouldn't be just, I'm going to have a good time and enjoy myself, and that's not life on purpose. And we've got to live life on purpose. We've got to live life with a purpose. So, and it doesn't matter what that purpose is as you get to certain places in your life and at certain stages in your life. You know, my wife and I had a conversation this morning bright and early while I was preparing to go to the Achievers Academy, and she was preparing to start her day. Early this morning we were talking about how the poor will always be among us. So we have to look at how we can enhance our charitable endeavors, how we can enhance our philanthropic endeavors. You know, she gets it. That's our life. That's the way we choose to live, to impact the lives of others, because that's what Christ did. So we're always looking. We should always be looking for ways to do that, to serve God in a much greater way. We should always be looking for a way to do that. And in relationships, it's no different. We should always be looking forward. Forget about, I need this in a relationship. I need that in a relationship. No, what you need is a relationship that is built on a foundation in Christ, and then it's built to impact the lives of others. Take yourself out of the equation. Focus on, you know, obviously we all want to build a great quality of life. And if you're a parent, you want to raise children who are going to be whole and are going to be healthy and are going to be in a great state of mind. You want them to enjoy a great quality of life, and then they become adults and hopefully they'll build the same quality of life. Okay. But at the end of the day, you got to have a plan for that. You have to have an implementation strategy. Strategic implementation plan. You have to have a strategy to be able to walk together in agreement. You have to have a strategy to know where the relationship is going, but it's not your job to take him there. It's his job to take you there. Because that's what we do as a man. That's a responsibility as a man. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast has been brought to you by Fiji Water, a taste of paradise. Will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. Remember, first of all, may God bless you. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being in your viewing environment tomorrow. Remember, we're Facebook Live. We are YouTube Live at Daily Divine Direction. And we want you to stay connected with us throughout the day and throughout the week at WKAPfaith.com. Our